Step into the world of power, loyalty, and luck.
I'm gonna make him an offer he can't refuse.
With family, cannolis, and spins mean everything.
Now, you wanna get mixed up in the family business.
Introducing The Godfather at ChumbaCasino.com. Test your luck in the shadowy world of The Godfather slot.
Someday, I will call upon you to do a service for me.
Play The Godfather now at ChumbaCasino.com.
Welcome to the family.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
You just realized your business needed to hire someone yesterday. How can you find amazing candidates fast? Easy. Just use Indeed. Stop struggling to get your job post seen on other job sites. With Indeed sponsored jobs, your post jumps to the top of the page for your relevant candidates, so you can reach the people you want faster. According to Indeed data, sponsored jobs posted directly on Indeed have 45% more applications than non-sponsored jobs. Don't wait any longer. Speed up your hiring right now with Indeed. And listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/ARTS. Just go to Indeed.com/ARTS right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Hiring? Indeed is all you need.
Tape Deck Media.
Welcome to Hosstown.
I'm Taylor Ruddle.
I'm Matt Lilley.
We are the Bears of Hosstown. Let's start the show.
All right, welcome. Welcome to Hosstown. It's me, Matt Lilley.
I am Taylor Ruddle.
And we're back. Been a couple months, but as you can see, it's been a fruitful couple of months.
Oh yeah, we've been busy, haven't we?
We've been busy. We've
got
been
a new set, the new Naruto Akatsuki blanket.
Yes, I would have just called it a Naruto thing. Just nerd shit. That's how I refer to it. I don't know. Israel Adesanya wore a pattern like this once. That's the only reason I know what it was.
Absolutely. Yeah.
RIP to that career. Anyway.
Yeah. What are these in front of us here, Matt?
Well, they're guildies, I think is what the technical term is.
Yes.
Yeah, it's, I don't know, we won, well, I won this one, allegedly. Matt Lilley did, anyway.
Did they write your name wrong on the
certificate? Yeah, there's a miss.
Oh, is it spelled on there too?
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
It's,
well, mine, this one here, was damaged thanks to the glorious people at New Zealand Post who handled it with such care and definitely didn't throw it at my doorstep. So I had to super glue this back together. I think that's makes them even better though. Comedy trophies that are a little imperfect, a little damaged. Wabi sabi, as the Japanese say.
Yeah. So you won for the second year, the breakout star for the South Island.
Two-time breakthrough. I'm the breakthrough act of the South Island 23 and 24. So I broke out, then I broke straight back in, and then I broke out again.
Well, I was the newcomer.
I hope you win that next year.
Yeah,
That'd be so funny if you won that 2 years in a row.
It would be nominate me next year.
Yeah, I'm going to nominate you for best newcomer next year.
Please do it. I'll nominate you for breakout.
Hell yeah, we need it. If I win it, so me and Audrey Pawn, another comic, she won breakout a few times in a row as well, and we've both expressed our sort of confusement about that. But I think a lot of the South Island comics kind of just look at this as like the comic who had the best year, and so I'm fine with that accolade.
Yeah,
I think it was a pretty good year.
Well, because there's no like top comedian.
Yeah, exactly. There's no best.
These are the only.
This is all we've got.
This is the only two awards that they designate for the South Island comedy scene, and you're looking at the two recipients of them. So
just dripping in all the gold.
So if you're looking for allegedly two of the funniest individuals in this one island of 1.4 million people,
two of them right here. Biggest comedians in the South Island by both talent and size, so we're crushing it there.
Yeah,
quite literally.
Crushing.
I've broken so many chairs,
so many stools, so many. I don't know what else. I need to start breaking stuff on stage.
Yeah.
I think that's.
I want to win this one more year, and then I feel like I should hang my jersey from the rafters and just never win another award.
Yeah, can you get your number retired by the Guildies?
That'd be so funny if you could. You might also be able to see this. I don't know where the camera is, but I purchased this in Dunedin from another comedian, Tama Alexander. I didn't realize he was such a Lord of the Rings guy, but it came home with me, and I'm very happy to have it. So yeah, Really dripped out today.
A lot of hosses in the Lord of the Rings, aren't there?
Yeah, dwarves. They're definitely like very hoss, like red meat.
Yeah.
Ale. That's all that's very hoss.
Yeah, very. Yeah, I won't put any disparaging comments about Lord of the Ring fans. They'll come after me. No, they're a rabid bunch. But, I've never watched it, to be honest.
Yeah.
I feel like that should like revoke a part of my citizenship if I've never watched the Lord of the Rings.
Did you say should or shouldn't?
It should.
I agree.
Yeah. I had a friend come over from America, and they brought their American girlfriend over, and she basically said, being an American, she had to go to Hobbit Town.
Yeah,
she had to. It was like it's the only thing they know us for was Lord of the Rings.
Do you know I had the opposite experience when I went to Japan? I used to talk about it a lot, and people looked at me like, "Oh, you're still going on about that movie?" So it's yeah.
Americans don't let things go.
No, that's true.
Yeah.
So then let's move on to our second piece of news for the Hosstown faithful, the 3 or 4 subscribers we have. The circle is complete. You were finally mistaken for me.
Yeah.
After a gig.
Again, I don't get it. Like, I mean, I'm sure people watching us, like, when we're sat next to each
like
other,
a mirror sitting in the middle.
But there's distinctives. Like,
Yeah,
also,
we're
especially like pretty much every time I'm on stage, I have my hair down.
Yeah.
So I think that makes another big difference. But basically, I got a Facebook message to my comedian Facebook page about a week ago. And I was reading it. It was like 8 o'clock in the morning. I read it. It was a really, first couple lines really cheered me up for the start of the day. It basically went, hey Matt, saw you last week at the Hour of the Power show, which I did do. I think I might have plugged that last time, and enjoyed that. I felt like it went fairly well.
I was there for that.
And then the next line, he says, also thought you did a great job opening for David Corrales last Friday. And then I had to take a double back and be like, I didn't open for David Corrales Friday. Taylor did.
That's funny.
So yes, then
did you respond to the message?
Yes, I did. I responded to her because I felt like
did you correct him or did you just go thanks, bro?
No, I corrected him. I said thanks, but I think I didn't. I said literally I didn't open for David Krause. I think you're confusing me with my good friend Taylor Ruddle. Because then, instead of him just being a fan just of me, now I can show he's a fan of both of us. And
plug the podcast.
I forgot I should have plugged the podcast. Just like
that would have been the move, eh?
It would have been the move.
I love it.
I could post it. I'll send it. I'll direct message him straight after this, and I'll message him this clip of us getting.
I forgot to tell you we're going to podcast together.
I don't know. Maybe you're going to have to shave that beard or cut that hair because I'm not telling you what to do with your body. Your body, your choice. But no, it's just.
Yeah,
I mean, it's a small enough scene as it is. How many big hairy guys are getting booked? Well, clearly, yeah.
We've really got the monopoly on big hairy guys.
Yeah,
eh?
Sorry to I don't know who some other big hairy comedians. Harry Smith.
He's not. You wouldn't mistake him for us though.
No, he's a bit leaner. He's a bit. Yeah.
He's just got the short hair.
Short hair.
I was going to say, did you want to share your experience about going to the cat cafe?
Yeah, that was Cat Cafe. I remember that was with my girlfriend Georgia, and me were there sitting. I don't know if you've been to the local cat cafe here in Christchurch.
I've not.
But so they have the room with the cats in the cafe part, and then they have like the sort of waiting area outside because you book time slots essentially, which is where you have the food and the coffee machine.
Like the cats are therapists, eh? Like,
pretty much.
Oh, my 3 o'clock's here.
Yeah. So we were sitting there, like got there about 5 minutes earlier. We were sitting there at one of the tables. And there were two of the couples were there before us, and I just casually look and make the connection, like, oh, that's a guy with a beard and quite a quirky, alternative-looking female. And then the next couple walks in, it's a guy with a beard and a quirky, alternative-looking female. And then another couple walks in, it's a guy with a beard and a quirky, alternative-looking female. And then that's when I made the comment to Georgia. I was like, we're a stereotype.
We need to get out of here.
We're a stereotype. And then we go in, and then like 10 minutes into our time with the cats in the cafe, another couple walks in late. Must have booked in full cosplay.
Oh, really?
And yes, the guy had a beard.
What were they cosplaying as? You wouldn't know, probably.
I don't know. Shared Alfie is. It was very much felt Alvin is how I would give the vibe. They both had capes.
Oh man,
I don't know if they were specific characters or that's just how they like to spend their Saturday afternoon. I don't judge.
It's hard to tell sometimes, whether they're in character or not. There's that great video of that dude. The police got called because they thought someone was dressed as Hulk Hogan at the train station, but that's just how he dressed. He just had the bandana and the yellow T-shirt. And
why are you calling the police if you just see someone as Hulk Hogan? I mean, I get it. Like, he's got unsavory political views, but it's not illegal.
No, it's not illegal to dress as Hulk Hogan. Thankfully, I guess.
Unless he was doing something wrong. Was he doing something illegal? And
I don't think so, no.
It's the guy dressed as Hulk Hogan, and they're like, yeah, he's just wearing red and...
Yeah, I remember his friends are absolutely dying laughing because it was described as someone wearing fancy dress as Hulk Hogan, and the dude, like, they were like, it's not fancy dress, that's just how he is. Like, he just dresses like that normally.
He's a real American.
And they were in England as well, which is the weirdest part about it. So I don't know why that sort of biker culture look made its way over there.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the circle is complete. We've now been mistaken for each other one time each. And then also you've been mistaken for Ron Mac once, right?
Yes. That was one time at Good Times Comedy Club where I was about to do the show, and some guy who got there early came up to me and was like, "Hey, excuse me, are you Ron Mac?" And I was like, "No, I'm Matt Lilley, actually."
That's so funny.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see in another couple of years what our tally is looking like. So far it's 1-1. What I find so fascinating about yours as well is, like, at least the time I was mistaken for you, she hadn't seen... It was months since she'd seen the performance, whereas the dude who mistake you for me...
It was like
saw
within
you
a week.
within like a week. It was like, oh man, it's the same guy.
Yeah, it's the same
with
guy.
completely different material. And
different vibe.
Different vibe, yeah.
They're like, in terms of our comedy, the only real similarities are we're big, hairy guys.
Yeah, and we do a little bit of self-deprecating stuff about that. But otherwise...
which is like 90% of comedians
Yeah,
are
that's true.
self-deprecating. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so funny, though. I hope it keeps happening.
But yeah, I don't know. It's like, also, you would have been announced as Taylor Ruddle.
Yeah. And he knew he was going to the Hour of Power with Matt Lilley. John Robert.
Well, that's why, like, you probably, my name was at least on the show that I went to. You were probably, your name was there, but like...
to be fair, I don't even think I was on the poster this year.
Yeah.
I think some photos of me maybe were on, because David was going for a real different look for his poster this year. He wanted, like, candid photos, so there was a photo of me holding a wooden sword on there, but, like, yeah, that was... I don't actually think my name was on the poster at all. I will say, though, normally when I open... We can talk about the tour a little bit as well, so if you've been following the Ruddle Me This podcast, then you'll know that I went on tour with David Correos as his kind of road manager / opening act for the last couple of weeks. It'll be about a month ago when this drops. And... it's an interesting experience opening for... Have you ever opened for, like, a much bigger comic before?
You? No. Not really, no.
It's an interesting experience because this could be my own sort of insecurity, but, like, you definitely feel like you don't want to wear out your welcome with the audience. And the tour 2 years ago, there were some rooms where I felt... So I'm supposed to do 30 minutes ahead, and I think, like, in some crowds, David's like... You know, it's promoted as we're going to do 30 minutes each and it's going to be really good. But after about 15, the crowd are like, yeah, we've had enough of you. Like, let's get David out here. I would say I only had one show that felt like that this tour, 1 out of 8, which is pretty good. Last year it was, we did about 20 shows and it was maybe 5 or 6 out of 20 that I felt like they were kind of like, all right, wrap it up. Like, we've seen what you do. We want to see David. And then as well, apparently he was he came up to me afterwards and he was really annoyed. He's like, you don't know how many people this year have come up to him and been like, man, Taylor's really good. And so he's like, you're not supposed to be catching up. You know, you're not supposed to be, like, approaching him. He wanted me down here. I don't think he actually did, but, like, he was saying that.
Instead of people telling him how good his set was.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
that's what
Taylor's so funny.
He wants to hear, like, how good his DJ stuff. And I have to say as well, if you're in, where is he touring next? Australia. I think he's doing, like, Perth. He's doing all the big fringes over there. Definitely get along. It is a really, really good show. Like, I'm not even that massively into EDM and rave and stuff, but it was very enjoyable. It's very funny. There's some clowning in it. He does a little bit of magic, and you know, if you like David Correos, you absolutely will not be disappointed by that. I was going to say as well, we were looking at trying to do a tour to Wanaka, weren't we? I messaged you asking if you're interested in doing that. Would that be oh my God, I got the hiccups real bad. Hang on. Talk for a second.
Yeah, no, Wanaka. I mean, I've heard of comedy shows in Wanaka before, but like, it's not really a full tourist town, is it?
Oh no, Wanaka's great.
Yeah,
we would do the Rhyme and Reason Brewery, and I would probably try and do a Queenstown and a Wanaka date. We could probably do Hosstown. Maybe call it the Hosstown Comedy Tour or something. That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah.
If you're listening in Wanaka and Queenstown, you want to see us, let us know. But would that be your first road gig if we did something?
I've done gigs in Auckland. That doesn't really count.
That's true. Well, it's flying, but it is the road, yeah.
Yeah. So no, I haven't in the south. I haven't been outside of the main centres. I have in terms of life, but never to do comedy.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's kind of I wonder if I do. It's the whole thing every comedian probably has when they go. They're like, "Will my jokes translate? Will the people that live in the shallows understand my intellectual humor?" I don't know. It's people in Wanaka that got more money than us. So
no, that's true.
They'll probably look down on me and think.
No, they love it. Like I wish I could find a good sort of like 50-seat venue in Timaru and Ashburton, because I'd love to just do a little mini thing, because that's only like an hour drive. And like, I'm at the point with touring where the shine has very much worn off the long drives. Like when the first few that you do, it's the most fun ever, because you've just got like 5 hours of chatting comedy in the car. Especially if you're doing it with a comic that you like, or like a bigger comic than you. It's just great fun. But, I'm how long have we been doing the road for? Probably like 5-6 years now. And it's just like, it's now just part of the job, like I'm like, yep, long drive today. And like the drive back went really quick on this last one, but the drive down there, the first maybe 3 hours went by pretty quick, but then the last 2, I remember I was watching in Google Maps, you're always trying to beat that time that it gives you. I was watching that, and I'd look away, and it was almost like I was at work, when you look away from the clock, that old Chris Rock bit where you think you put in like an hour of work and it's been 10 minutes or whatever. That was what it felt like watching that tick down for that first drive. So, but I imagine for you, if we do a road thing, it'll be shiny and new and kind of like a fun kind of drive. Yeah,
I mean, like you say that, I probably will get on it and it'll feel like that, but I'm struggling. You said like
5-hour drive.
Well, even just driving to Timaru and Ashburton and being excited.
There's something about it that feels traveling for work, especially when it's something fun like stand up. I don't know. There's something magical about it. I remember the first time I flew for a gig. It was to Palmerston North. I was buzzing the whole time.
Again, like you're saying these things, and I think you're the only person that's been to Palmerston North.
Been stoked to be to Palmerston North.
I mean, fair play to you, but yeah, I don't know.
Those 13 people that I played to got a hell of a show.
Yeah.
No, it was more.
I'm not trying to disrespect the regions of this country at all, but I struggle to get excited. Again, I'll get there and I'll be like, wow, this is people in a different town.
Oh, maybe you won't. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, maybe that's just me. Maybe I'm just an arrogant kind of.
Cynical.
Maybe this is getting to my head, and I'm feeling like I feel like I'm too big for them. Yeah, I'm too big for Ashburton.
Yeah, you're a big fish in a small pond.
Big fish in a small pond.
Speaking of fish bowl.
Oh,
good transition there.
Smooth.
Super Bowl is coming.
Super Bowl is coming.
So I'm going to be watching my first Super Bowl with a few of the lads in about a week. Well, it would have happened by the time this drops. But who do we know who's playing in the finals? Who's playing?
The Kansas City Chiefs playing the Philadelphia Eagles, a rematch of the Super Bowl from 2 years ago. So Kansas City Chiefs are going for their three-peat. They're going for their third one in a row.
Really?
Yeah, which will be the first NFL team to do that since the 60s when the Green Bay Packers did it. So it's to say I'm thrilled about that would be I'm not very thrilled about it. To be fair I'm a big NFL fan. Got the podcast with Matt Matt NFL Chat. I'm a big Baltimore Ravens fan.
That rhyme makes me so angry how well it works.
Yeah, Matt NFL Chat. Yeah, it's but if you follow along, we kind of dropped off for the last month of the season, but I'm a big Baltimore Ravens fan who last year lost to the Kansas City Chiefs in the conference finals. So last
so
round
it's
of
a
the
sore
Super Bowl.
spot.
And this year we lost in equally heartbreaking fashion in the divisional round, which is basically the second to last round, to the Buffalo Bills, who then lost to the Kansas City Chiefs.
So,
I took about a week or two to recover from that heartbreak. We literally, Mark Andrews, our tight end, literally dropped the pass that would have tied the game with a minute to go on the goal line, and it would have.
So I have several questions about football in preparation for this.
I'll try to push that trauma back down.
Yeah. No, it's more just about. I'm just trying to figure out expectations and stuff. So
it's long. Get ready for a long.
Is it?
Sporting event.
How long's it?
Well, it'll kick off our time at about 12:30. It'll finish about 5.
Really?
That's the Super Bowl though, because they space it out.
They
with
put
the
a halftime show and stuff.
Halftime show, which would be about 45.
Do we know who the performance is?
Yeah, it's Kendrick Lamar.
Wow,
Yeah,
that's
Kendrick
going to be a good Super Bowl to watch.
Yes, who just cleaned up yesterday at the Grammys.
With his Canadian tuxedo on.
The Canadian tuxedo. Collecting like 5 Grammys for a diss song against Drake.
We're just like Kendrick Lamar. Look at all these awards.
Yeah, exactly.
Look at all these damn awards we got.
I know.
Have you seen that that joke swap that SNL did where you know what I'm talking about, joke swap, where they have to read jokes that they've never written out before?
Yeah.
It's Michael Shea. He was forced to say something about Kendrick Lamar, your beef with Drake may be over, but your war with Michael Shea is just beginning. And he's like, does not want to incur the wrath of Kendrick.
Well, Andrew Schultz, the comedian, actually went after Kendrick in a weird way.
Really?
It was weird. I don't know.
Like he was just trying to go for clout kind of thing.
Kind of go for clout. I mean, he's that edgelord comedian or an online comedian. He kind of, anyway, we don't need to give that any more than it.
Fair enough.
But, so Super Bowl. So what to expect? So it's a lot of circus. Most of it, well, not really. Other than the halftime show, it is just a regular old football game, which.
Oh, this will be my first ever watching a football game through.
So
there's a lot of ads and stuff, isn't there? Like it's a lot of.
It's very stop-start.
Yeah.
So basically, what'll happen is every play goes for about 10 to 15 seconds, and then in between every play, they'll have about 30 seconds resetting, subbing out players, and then set up for the next play, and then they'll go again. So it's a good game to watch with friends because you'll just be casually talking, and then a play will happen. And as long as one of the people in the room is kind of paying attention to the situation of the game, every couple of minutes you'll be like, shit, this is a really big play here. This will change the course of the game.
Yeah.
But a lot of hosses, a lot of big men.
Yep.
A lot of big men up front.
Big boy representation.
Representation, and these two teams have the best big men in the whole league, which is why they're this far. They've got this far in the season. It's an integral part, the defensive line and the offensive line.
So of the two, which would you prefer to win?
Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah, I think I'm going to... So for me, it's because I like the logo of the Eagles. I've always liked that, just from a design perspective, the Philly Eagles logo is very nice. So that'll be the reason, and really not knowing anything else about the team. What do you think the split's going to be like? Are most people going for the Eagles? Or?
Most people go for the Eagles. It's like because the Kansas City Chiefs have become like the Death Star.
They're like the Yankees.
They're like the Yankees, but not like in a historical sense. More just like in the last 6 to 7 years.
What is it that they're doing so differently?
Well, it's one mate. They have Patrick Mahomes, who is quickly becoming the next GOAT.
Is he the new Tom Brady?
He's the new Tom Brady, and potentially better because he's already won 3 Super Bowls and he's 29 or 28 or something, and he's about could win his 4th before 30. Tom Brady won 6, he won 7, but he played till he was 45.
Yeah, Tom Brady just never retired.
So he's about to go. I think if he wins the Super Bowl, he'll go second all time in playoff wins in the NFL behind Tom Brady. And he's, not even 30. And most quarterbacks will go till at least late 30s.
Wow.
So he's probably got another 10 years at least in the NFL. And on top of that, they've just had the team. Well, they're just such a good team. Well coached. Andy Reid, the head coach, just is one of the best coaches of all time. He used to coach the Philadelphia Eagles, of all things. Took them to the Super Bowl a couple times. But couldn't win, but then won so much with the Kansas City Chiefs. But and then, of course, you've got Travis Kelce.
That's Taylor Swift's beau, right?
Taylor Swift's beau, and
is he on the Chiefs as well?
He's the Chiefs. He's their main tight end receiver, and the thing is,
just pause you there. So tight end receiver, he catches the ball and runs.
Okay,
yep.
But, so there's the tight ends, and then there's wide receivers, but they both catch the ball and run. But a tight end is usually the bigger one that can block as well.
Big mountain of flesh.
So he tends to mostly just receive. Big mountain of flesh.
He's a big old corn-fed boy, isn't he?
Yeah, from Ohio.
I was going to say he looks like Minnesota or something. But
big 6'5", 260 pounds. Yeah, and
monster.
then so they're going to be. That's going to be. You're going to be looking for Patrick Mahomes to pass the ball to either him or their other receivers, and they've got quite a few other good receivers. So that's going to be their game plan. The Philadelphia Eagles, they have their running back Saquon Barkley, who had a historic year, like second most rushing yards in NFL history.
Really?
Just running the ball on the ground. So it's going to be a good kind of contrast to see.
Yeah.
You're going to see one team trying to mostly pass it, like run it a little bit, but mostly pass it through the air, and then Philadelphia Eagles, they've got good receivers and a good quarter. Like both teams are very well rounded. They don't get this far if they're not, but like their X factor has been Saquon Barkley and their running game, who's just been unstoppable all year.
So he can run with the ball, and if they try to tackle him, he's really good at like dodging them. And everything like that, right?
Very shifty. He'll there was one play this year where he jumped over a defender backwards.
Yeah,
and that went viral. And he's just so fast, so just shifty, and just so like you'll see him like he's the definition of just most running backs are, but just stout. He's maybe like 5'8", but then like also 5'8" wide. And then his quads are huge, but then he can move so quick.
So he's squat and he's fast.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. So like so when he's very quick and hard to get a hold of, but if he is running at you, it's just a cannonball coming down at you. So
I love it. No, this is great.
Yeah, so that's going to be the main matchups. Some of the big men to look out for. So the Philadelphia Eagles they've got an offensive line with an Australian, Jordan Mailata, who is a fascinating story. He was a guy that was picked up. He was playing rugby league, who is 6'8" and about 170 kilos, but with 20% body fat. So
that's relatively high for a football player, right?
20% body fat. He's 170 kilos with abs. Is basically what I'm trying to say.
Oh, is 20 low for body
20
fat?
is low.
Oh, really?
Yeah, 20 is somewhat like if someone's got 20% body fat, you consider them in good shape.
Oh,
when you're getting down to like
75% body fat.
We're probably like pushing 30 and 40. That's what I'd say.
oh, is that the only? So the difference between abs and me is 10% body fat.
Well, it's like half of your fat. Yeah.
Crush it, easy. We'll
Well,
have abs by the end of the year, bro.
Yeah, we'll be there. But so there's him.
That'll be the Hosstown like speedo calendar. Will be if we ever get to that point.
All right, you can do that anyway.
It's all just me every.
So yeah,
people won't be able to tell the difference. They'll be like, "Oh yeah, I like the spread of Matt on page 3, and it's all just me." Oh god, that would be. You could really take the day off there, eh? And I better handle that for you easily.
You can do that.
Outstanding.
Yeah.
I'll collect your paycheck for that as well.
Alrighty. Yeah.
So sorry, I interrupted you there.
So yeah, he's one of the big men on that side. Probably. Yeah, and it's just so many good big men. I could just list them off. You got Kansas City, Creed Humphreys, Joe Tooney, Chris Jones on the defensive line, who's like one of the best defensive line players. And then also on the Philadelphia Eagles, you got Jalen Phillips. It's very scary, man. Like these men are all 6'6" and then 150 kilos. I'm getting a little hot and heavy in here talking about it.
I love when you can see an NFL player who's like he's clearly in shape, but he's also got like a belly on him. And you're like, that's the sport for me, eh? Where like you don't need to have abs.
Oh, hell yeah. Yeah. A lot of that too. So it's going to be exciting. It's going to be good. But yeah,
because being heavy is good for that sport, right? Generally.
Depends on the position because it's very different horses for different courses. You got the big guys in the middle that are bashing into each other, and then you'll have a guy that's like 70 kilos that can run a 4.1 second 40-meter dash.
Right.
Yeah, and the Kansas City Chiefs. Well, that's Kansas City Chiefs have a couple of those guys. They got a guy Xavier Worthy who ran the fastest ever 40-yard dash in the combine this last year. He's a rookie. They drafted him this year. So, yeah, it's it's a real interesting game.
I was trying to get a bit going on stage where I was talking about how everybody should be forced to do an NFL style combine like every 6 years, like almost like a Warren of Fitness.
Yeah,
and I just thought it'd be funny if you got like an overall score because do they score it by overall in the combine or is it?
No, so you'll have different stats for different.
Yeah, but I just thought like it would make people a little more politer if they could just see how much of a physical threat someone was with the number above their head. I think the reason it doesn't work is because it borderlines into like eugenics and stuff, which people are very uncomfortable with. But,
well, also I don't know because you didn't do a lot of sport as a kid, did you?
Or no, not really. No.
It reminds me of doing, because this is a thing in sport. If you do take sports seriously, they will do fitness tests with you very regularly.
Yeah.
And it's a thing. Like I remember, like with rowing and with rugby. Like the big thing with rugby was the Bronco.
What is that?
A Bronco is a running test where basically it's set up on a rugby field where you go out 20 meters, turn around.
Oh, is that like the
40.
beat test or whatever?
Kind of like a beat test, but
yeah.
it's like 5 laps, which works out basically to like a 1,200 meter run.
Fuck.
And it's the whole thing. Like it's like, what's your Bronco? You come back at the start of preseason, you've got to run a Bronco, and you've got to be within like 10 or 20 seconds of your best time. Otherwise, they'll be like.
Would you be nervous thinking about you've got the Bronco? Like,
100%. It'll ruin your whole week.
Yeah.
It'll ruin your whole week. You're just like, because you get anxious. Because it's going to hurt too, because you're going to run to exhaustion.
Yeah.
And then the embarrassment of, especially if you know you haven't been doing the work.
Yeah.
Because it goes, like, the least fit you are, the longer it goes.
Yeah.
And then the other, your coach is getting it on
distance, it's not time.
It's distance. And you all do it together. So the fit, fast guys in the team.
And so you don't want to be the last.
They finish like a minute before you.
Yeah.
And then it's just, and then the worst is when you're the last one coming in, because this may have happened a couple times.
I've been last.
And then everybody else starts cheering and encouraging you.
Oh, I
It's
hate
like, come
that.
on, Matt, get in there, man, you got it.
Do you know?
So we don't need that for the general population, is what I'm saying.
But I feel like it would humble people a little bit because, like,
very humbling. Too humbling.
No dude thinks he's a better fighter than the guy who's never been in a fight before. I feel like the end of that should be you have to shadow box for 10 minutes and then you have to watch yourself shadow boxing so you can see how slow and like decrepit you are. But I was going to say the running, like I've definitely been last in the cross country before. To the point where, the most insulting part was when the teachers are putting away the cones before you've even finished.
Oh,
and
that's
you're like,
depressing.
Leave it out until I'm finished. Don't try to get a jump on your, like, the end of your day. Like, fuck off.
Yeah.
I was going to say as well, this is a great time to tell this story. The beep test, I used to train at this place called Titan Training Ground, which is a kickboxing, Muay Thai kind of gym. I think they do jiu-jitsu now. And we did... it was like the beep test, but it was for throwing kicks. And I forget the exact specifics of it, but it was like, I think they would play audio where it would be like, I forget whether you were switching legs or you would do like 10 with your right, then 10 with your left. Yeah. And you had to keep up with the speed of the voice or whatever. And it would get quicker and quicker as it goes along. And you would get like I don't think it was just like whatever stage you got up to that was like your kick beep test score. And my friend Jay, I missed it or something, so we did one. We came in on like a Saturday and did one because everybody's scores were up on the wall, and coach announced that we were going to be doing another one, like, on this whatever date it was, like a couple of weeks later, a month later or something. And my friend Jake got really in his head about it, and he spent the whole week mentally preparing for it, and he was just trying to get into the mindset of like, he's basically getting ready to go to war, and then we just didn't do it. Like, coach never even mentioned it, and Jake, who was just so annoyed because he was like, but I spent the whole week like getting into the mindset for this, and it just never happened. I don't think we ever did one again the entire time that I was training there. So it really does. It just dominates your mind for the week when you've got it hanging over you.
Because the worst one for me was because I was a big rower, in high school, and the big if you do rowing, the big test there was called the 2,000 meter erg, because it was 2,000 meters on one of those rowing machines like you see in the gym. And those were hell, because that's full body, about 7 to 8 minutes, just full out. One time when I was in high school and we did it just after school, like in the school gym. Yeah. One of my mates had to be taken to hospital because he got rhabdomyosis and had almost full kidney failure.
Oh, when you're pissing like brown.
Basically, yeah. It's like it's, to be fair, the dude had one piece of toast and a can of V for the whole day, and then he does this maximal fitness test, and then basically had to get taken to hospital that night. Yeah. And because basically, your body starts literally breaking down the muscle in your body.
Yeah, it's not good if you're pissing any like darker than red, or not red. Red's
Yeah.
like blood, but yeah.
Reds, but yeah, it's like
Dark brown.
Dark brown. It's where it starts going yellow into brown. Yeah. It's really.
Do you want to just check? Can you see how long we've been going for?
What does it say up there? It's 34 minutes.
Sweet, that's my. It's funny. You get a clock for these things. Things stand up. You kind of.
Yeah.
You're like, it feels like about. So let's talk a little bit about us. Let's finish off talking about us being on the wagon. I was going to say one thing though, like with your history with rowing.
Yeah.
Do you ever miss like being a rower? Do you still row at all?
No. It's because it's very much a sport. There's no casuals. There's no
There's no
weekend.
Sunday run club
Not
for
really,
rowing.
Not really. It's very much you got to be training 5 days a week to be able to keep up with it. Otherwise,
Because you need to be a synchronized machine with everybody else, right?
yeah, and you need to be as fit as possible too.
Yeah.
So it's kind of. It's not. Maybe in other countries, but especially New Zealand, there's no real culture of like casual rowing, unless
fun rowing.
Some people do it, but they're annoying. So
They're the ones that slow down the rest of the pack.
And it's also, I found when I tried to get back into it after a year or two off, you sit in the boat and it's just like the boat's a little bit lower to the water. You feel it. It's just not moving as fast as it used to. It's not a... And like, yeah, it would just take time for me to train to get back to close to a level where I was, but it's just...
Rowing is it one of those workouts where like it uses your entire body, right? And then like if you did... Like, you know, swimmers are like, they just look like Adonis, you know what I mean? Like they just have that like sort of idea, you know.
Yes, I do look like Adonis.
Yeah,
Thank you.
exactly, yeah. That's what I was thinking.
Yes.
If you just were rowing, could you be like shredded and have the ideal, the ideal physique, big broad shoulders and whatever, just from rowing?
Pretty much, yeah, definitely.
Wow.
Like, yeah, it's pretty much because you basically just push every stroke, like every time you push with your legs and then pull with your back. It's like basically you're just in squats and pull-ups. Basically, it's like if you just did squats and pull-ups.
Yeah.
So, and if you look at Olympic rowers, they have to be pretty lean because it's like you're power to weight. You're pushing.
Well, yeah, the more heavy you are, right? Yeah.
Yeah, but then they also are quite tall. So the average like Olympic rower, male rower, is like 6'4" and 90 kilos.
Really?
Yeah.
Is height advantageous because you've got a longer stroke?
Yeah, basically. Yeah.
So if I'm on the rowing machine at the gym or something, I should be trying to get as long of a pull as I can.
No, because then your back will just completely blow out. It's the whole thing of like you want to do it. You want to do it safely because it's so bad on your back. Like,
really,
lower back injuries are terrible.
Really,
like because like you just think if you start pushing with a curved back, you're just gonna that's half the reason I started getting real bad back.
Yeah,
and it's just that's
understandable.
Okay.
Yeah,
I would just there's other things you can do that won't ruin your body as quickly. So.
I think it was like Robert Oberst, big Hoss, great Hoss. He is a strong man, and he was talking about how he reckons unless you're training to deadlift, then deadlifts are just like unnecessarily dangerous.
It's basically that you're basically doing that deadlift motion a lot of the time.
Yeah, exactly.
It's obviously a lot lighter, but you're doing it over and over again.
It's the whole back issues thing is wild because I know professional wrestlers. There have been ones that have had just sort of recurring back issues, and it really seems like once you start having them, they just never stop, eh?
Yeah, because there's so many things that...
It's a lot of muscles in your back, eh?
Yeah, and it can also be down to like something with your hip or your hamstrings and things like that. Yeah. That was me. My glutes were underdeveloped.
Oh, man.
So, yeah, I didn't, it's kind of very flat in the back.
Flat glutes.
Flat glutes. So,
man.
it was weird because I remember going to a personal trainer and I had to do like hip thrusts in the gym.
Yeah.
And like he was just like, face the wall when you do these, mate. Because if you're facing the gym, you'll make eye contact and then you've got a charge coming.
Those are really... they're really common now, aren't they, hip thrusts?
Yeah, it's because Instagram.
Yes.
Basically.
Yeah.
And also because, I think people realise how important... That's your largest muscle is your gluteus maximus. It's one muscle. People think it's like you get two for two. No, it's one connected muscle.
Oh, the gluteus is one?
So it's one muscle. Your gluteus maximus basically goes from your lower hips and connects to your hamstrings on each side. It's the largest single muscle in your body.
I believe not a good thing to know, but I believe that's the muscle that cannibals tend to like.
It's
lean.
Oh well, if we were cattle and you were going to call it a cut of steak, it would be the rump.
Oh yeah, so
the rump. That's why if you go to the supermarket, the most common cut of beef is going to be the rump steak.
That's the good stuff.
It's the big muscle.
Yeah. So then let's finish off talking about
rump steak.
We'll see you next week. No, we've both been on the wagon. For me, it's been about a week before Christmas. Obviously had a couple of cheat days here and there, but for the most part, compared to what it was like before, I'm very much on the wagon. You mentioned as well, sort of unintentionally, you were. What's been going on?
Well, I've got it because with trying to lose weight, you'd probably agree it's such a mental battle more than anything, and I haven't so much been sticking to a strict diet. I've been consciously eating less junk food.
Yeah.
But the main thing for me was just trying to be more active. That's what I was finding. I wasn't being anywhere near enough active. So my big thing was walking, and then just general exercising. So I made a commitment, maybe last October, November, to try and walk at least 3 or 4 times to work. Because it's about a 30-minute walk to work. So then if I do that and back, that's 60 minutes a day of walking. Yeah. And then I noticed that gradually increased my fitness to when I was at. So had the energy to work out more on top of that. Yeah. And it kind of just snowballed. So yeah, I haven't really been tracking it, but I've kind of just been trying to be more active and eat healthier without putting a defined have to eat so many calories. I have to hit this weight. I have to, because that's the stuff that messes with my head more than anything. Yeah, no, I've
been a little bit the same. I'm thankfully, I think when they call it beginner gains or something. I think there's something to be said for for me. I haven't eaten bread in what are we now? 1st of Feb, a month and a half, which you always see people medieval peasants used to just eat bread and cheese. I'd be happy just bread and cheese. That's all I would need. And I think I suspect people give up boozing and then they sort of deflate a little bit because they're sort of whatever. I've noticed that with my I took a photo of my face the other day and I was like, yeah, this little looks just less sort of puffed up. And because I think unless you're a marathon runner, bread it's too much, whatever it is. I don't know, slow calories or something. I'm not
pure
carbohydrates. Yeah. So just cutting out bread would help me a lot. And then what do you call it? How you can sort of, I haven't really been tracking it, but how you kind of what is it called? Food journal kind of thing, not tracking the calories as such, but just more thinking about the food journal kind of thing. And it's bizarre because sometimes you put everything you ate in a day down and you're like, that's actually not that much. I only ate an apple and a banana and then I had lunch and dinner or something, and it was all kind of healthy stuff. Been destroying spinach, that's another one, on that Popeye kind of thing. Wraps is a big one. Henry Higman, he's
because he had a big weight loss recently.
Former Hoss, who's now a skinny boy. Yeah. He's been giving me some tips.
He was mostly because he was on that starving student diet.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. He's getting ready to go on Survivor and have no food around. Yeah. I actually had a couple came up to me after one of the David Correos gigs, and they'd seen what was cool for them because they had been at my taping, and then when they saw me come out, they were like, "Oh shit, it's that guy." Yeah. So they came up and were like, "Can we buy you a beer?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, I don't drink, so I'm good." And they're like, "Oh, can we buy you a pizza?" And I was like, it took all the strength in my body to say no. And
it's you had that conversation, just you know what, I'm trying to do something nice.
Yeah, exactly.
I deserve it. I've been good.
Yeah, but I did say no. I'm trying to be on the wagon. I appreciate it. I just they're like, what can we do? And I'm like, you just follow me on Instagram. That was the move. Follow me on Instagram.
Yeah, well, because it's tricky. Because I don't know if you go to certain cultures and they offer you food. It's almost a sign of disrespect to turn it down. Mm-hmm. So I've always been if people offer me stuff, I've always been guzzle it down immediately.
Yeah, absolutely.
My tough one for me is because I went out for.
Yeah, what's been the hardest for you to
Well, it's a trap every time. We don't do it very often, but when me and Georgia, my girlfriend, go out for dinner, she's quite a small person, so we'll get to main serving, so she'll have half of hers, and then like I justify it mentally by being like, I'll shout her, I'm paying for it anyway. But then it's just like I'm having a main and a half. Like we went to this Thai restaurant on Saturday, and they had shout out Thonglaw Thai in Christchurch. It's a fairly new Thai restaurant. It's really good. I'd recommend it. But serving size was pretty decent. I was fairly full after mine, and she was full after half of hers. But it was,
yeah, that's a tough one. My parents have had the bariatric surgery, whatever it is, the stomach surgery. So when we go out for dinner and stuff, it's quite often them arguing with the waiter about why they should be allowed to order off the kids' menu. Some places don't want to let them do it, but that's a tough one. And then one that it's so funny because a lot of it I think is habit, right? And people say like smoking, a lot of quitting smoking is just habit. Yeah. And on Saturday or Friday, I forget. Oh God, I had an experience with a bunch of Dunedin breathers. You heard the phrase breather before?
Oh yeah.
Unis Junior. I only learned that word because of Tama.
Yeah.
But yeah, so your brain still thinks you want stuff like Coca-Cola. Like Coca-Cola is a massive one for me. I don't drink nearly as much as that I used to. And then I think it's an age thing as well. But like if I eat something like chips too late, I'll just have the worst heartburn and I can't sleep. So that's actually been helping a lot because I just know, it's just going to make you feel worse. But then we finished the last show on the tour and David was DJing in the Octagon. And so I went, I'll get a little treat. I'll just get some chips and a chocolate milk or something like that. And you get like halfway through the bag and you're just like, I don't even really think I'm enjoying this anymore.
Yeah.
Like I bought a Coca-Cola and like previously I would have, 10 minutes gone kind of thing. But then I got about halfway through it and I was like, that's quite syrupy, yeah. It's some of it is getting your brain to adjust to the fact that like, oh no, actually, we just thought we really enjoyed these things. But now that we've been eating like, drinking water and just drinking like, nice coffee and stuff, you're sort of like, Coke, it's thick, eh? Like it's real sort of, But then I still get tricked sometimes, and I think my brain thinks, no, we need, a bag of chips or something. Like I've only done this a couple of times, but like I still find myself being like, the idea of it is better than it actually is in my head. So I'm getting better at it, but yeah, that's definitely a weird one to get used to.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's definitely tough. Well, you're on the wagon. You're doing well for you. So
Been on the wagon,
Just got to keep going one day after the other.
That's it, man. I'm almost the opposite to you. I think my legs are different lengths, so walking is really like, I can walk, but it just is not good. It's not comfortable to do for like long kind of stretches. Yeah. So I've recently learned, they say you can't out-train a bad diet. Yeah, they're right. You really can't.
No.
But the flip side to that is a good diet actually makes more of a difference than you'd think. So
it gives you more energy and you're out,
Yeah, and it's also passive. You just go about your day. And if you're like me, someone who generally gets to the end of the day thinking, where did the day go? I was busy all day. It's almost like a hack. It almost feels like time travel, you know what I mean? You're just skipping to the end of the day and you're like, oh, I ate well today, had some water. And then, like about a month goes by and you like I saw a photo of myself on stage somewhere. I was at the Anime Con and I was like, fuck, he's looking pretty trim there. Like, you do start to notice it. So yeah, if there's any horses out there watching, just, it's all about little adjustments, right? That you can consistently do for a long period of time. That's kind of, I think, the secret everyone says. But we all think, no, there's a shortcut.
Yeah, look at us turning into a health and well-being podcast.
Yeah, man, we're going to be fitness influencers. We're going to have abs by the end of the year, I swear.
We'll start a Hoss Health Club.
There you go. That's the stuff. Okay, let's wrap it up. Plugs, Matt.
Yes, so
social media, whatever.
I got my first solo show coming up. This is probably a good time to plug that because this will come out a good month before that. So March 21st, Good Times Comedy Club, 6:30 p.m. 60-ish minutes with Matt. That's That's basically the only guarantee you're going to get is it'll be 60-ish minutes. If
You'll
I finish, if I get off stage and the total time has at least a 5 in front of it, I'll be happy.
Yeah, that's always a relief.
So 60-ish minutes of me telling jokes and stories.
Nice.
So, yeah, what about you?
Social media?
Social media, I am Matt Lilley 9 on Instagram, Matt Lilley Comedian Facebook.
There you go. For me, don't have anything major to plug, but I am getting really wary of social media. So if you like me and you want to see a good newsletter, go to substack.com, or is it taylorruddle.substack.com? I'll chuck it in the links. Because, social media empires rise and fall, and a lot of the stuff we're seeing out of America is making me very nervous. So email has been around forever, and it will be around forever. So go and follow me on that. I'm also posting clips and stuff on TikTok. Taylor Ruddle Comedy on all the platforms. So yes, thank you for watching Hosstown. We'll be back in about a month's time. I think we've got a very relaxed schedule for this time of year. But
God damn.
Yes,
Well,
thank you, and we will see you again.
Hell yeah. Thanks for listening to Hosstown.
Don't forget to share the episode and leave a review on your favorite podcatcher.
See you next month.
See you there.
This has been a Tape Deck Media production. Thank you for listening.
How to have fun anytime, anywhere. Step 1. Go to ChumbaCasino.com.
ChumbaCasino.com. Got it.
Step 2. Collect your welcome bonus.
Come to Papa welcome bonus.
Step 3. Play hundreds of casino-style games for free.
That's a lot of games. All for free?
Step 4. Unleash your excitement.
Woohoo!
Chumba Casino has been delivering thrills for over a decade. So claim your free welcome bonus now and live the Chumba life. Visit ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
You just realized your business needed to hire someone yesterday. How can you find amazing candidates fast? Easy. Just use Indeed. Stop struggling to get your job post seen on other job sites. With Indeed sponsored jobs, your post jumps to the top of the page for your relevant candidates, so you can reach the people you want faster. According to Indeed data, sponsored jobs posted directly on Indeed have 45% more applications than non-sponsored jobs. Don't wait any longer. Speed up your hiring right now with Indeed. And listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/ARTS. Just go to Indeed.com/ARTS right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Hiring? Indeed is all you need.